Shalom, brothers and sisters. Today, I would like to give you some understanding on the Tanakh. Ta is short for Torah, the first 5 books of the Hebrew Bible. Na is short for Navim, the major prophets of the Hebrew Bible, like Isaiah. And then the Ka is short for Ketuvim, the poetry books like Psalms. If we look at the layout, first part, the Torah, is the law of Moses: Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. The second part, the Navim, the prophets, the books of Joshua, Judges, 1 and 2 Samuel, 1 and 2 Kings, Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Hosea, Joel, Amos, Obadiah, Jonah, Micah, Nahum, Habakkuk, Zephaniah, Haggai, Zechariah, and Malachi. The last 12 are sometimes grouped together as Trei Asar, the 12. And then third, the Ketuvim, the writings, the books of Psalms, Proverbs, Job, Song of Songs, Ruth, Lamentations, Ecclesiastes, Esther, Daniel, Ezra, and Nehemiah, 1 and 2 Chronicles. The first part of each one of these names make up the acronym that we know as Tanakh. Now, if we look at Torah, this was very interesting for me because Torah is the holiest part of their Tanakh for them. If you break this down by the letter, it is the cross, which is the Tav, the Vav is the nail, and then the Resh is a person, the highest person. And then obviously Hey, as inside the name of God, is pay attention, behold, behold, the nail and the cross of the highest person. The Torah reveals the Messiah that was slain before the foundation of the earth. Crazy that even in the word Torah, Yeshua has put this message there, that this entire work is about Him and what He is going to do. Our God is an amazing God. Torah. The Hebrew word Torah, Strong's 8451, is usually translated into the English word law. Because of this translation, there's a great misunderstanding of what Torah truly is. Torah is not law. Moses is the accepted author of Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. The Hebraic definition of Torah is a set of instructions from a father to his children. Violation of these instructions are disciplined in order to foster obedience and train his children. Notice how the word Torah is translated in the New International Version translation in the following passages. Listen, my son, to your father's instruction, and do not forsake your mother's teaching. Torah, Proverbs 1 verse 8. My son, do not forget my teaching. Torah, but keep my commands in your heart. Proverbs 3 verse 1. The purpose of a parent's Torah is to teach and bring children to maturity. Then we have the Navim. The Hebrew word Navim, prophets, literally spokespersons. The Jewish tradition counts a total of 8 books in Navim out of a total of 24 books in the entire Tanakh. The Navim are divided into 2 groups. The former prophets consists of Joshua, Judges, Samuel, and Kings. The latter prophets include Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, and the 12 minor prophets. Then we have the Ketuvim. The Hebrew word Ketuvim means writings. In the Ketuvim, 1 and 2 Chronicles form one book, along with Ezra and Nehemiah, which form a single unit entitled Ezra-Nehemiah. Collectively, 11 books are included in the Ketuvim. Psalms, Proverbs, and Job are presented in a special 2-column form emphasizing the parallel stichs in the verses, which are a function of their poetry. Collectively, these three books are known as Sifrei Emet, documents of truth. An acronym of the titles of the three books in Hebrew yields Emet, truth. The books of Song of Songs, Book of Ruth, Book of Lamentations, Ecclesiastes, Book of Esther are collectively known as the 5 Migilot, Hamesh Migilot, the 5 scrolls. The remaining books in the Ketuvim are the Book of Daniel, Ezra, Nehemiah, and the Book of Chronicles. Yeshua. So the Jewish people have spoken of their scriptures like this for over 2,000 years. Even Jesus spoke of the Hebrew Bible the same way. Luke 24 verse 44, Then he said to them, These are my words that I spoke to you while I was still with you, that all things must be fulfilled which were written in the law of Moses and the prophets and the Psalms concerning me. Jesus spoke about the Hebrew Bible as having 3 parts: the law of Moses, Torah, the prophets, Navim, the Psalms, Ketuvim, meaning Psalms and all the poetry books like Proverbs, Song of Solomon, etc. Jesus spoke about the Torah, Navim, and Ketuvim. He just spoke the long version. Today they use an acronym to save time. Now if we look at this, the Old and New Testaments, you can break them into 3 sections to make up God's Word. The Brit Hadashah is what it's actually called, not New Testament, can be divided into 4 categories. Its translation is New Covenant. Biography is the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. The history are the Acts or Acts of the Apostles. The letters or epistles, Romans, Corinthians, Galatians, Ephesians, Philippians, Colossians, Thessalonians, Timothy, Titus, Philemon, Hebrews, James, Peter, John, and Jude. And prophecy is also a letter, Revelation, Book of Revelation. So 3 sections in the Tanakh, 3 sections in the Brit Hadashah. I hope this helps you understand the Tanakh better and how it forms an essential and important part of God's overall message of His redemption through His Son for you. God bless and Shalom.